Hello friends, welcome to Gradeup and I welcome you all to a new class on the India-US Defense Agreements. So in this class, हम जो भी इंडिया यूएस के बीच में डिफेंस एग्रीमेंट्स हुए, जो स्ट्रैटेजिक एग्रीमेंट्स हुए, आपका GSMOIA हो गया, LEMOA हो गया या COMCASA या द रिसेंटली कंक्लूडेड BECA, इन सब के बारे में विल हैव अ डिटेल्ड डिस्कशन. Okay, so I hope you're aware that recently on October 27th, 2020, the India-USA, we had our 2+2 talks. Okay, just before the US elections से एक हफ्ते पहले the USA का Secretary of State, Mr. Mike Pompeo, and their US Secretary of Defense, they had flown into India. Okay, and they had met our own Defense Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh ji, and our External Affairs Minister, S. Jaishankar ji. So इनको मिले थे and the India-US 2+2 summit. I hope you're aware. ये बहुत newspaper में it was covered. Okay, it was on October 27th. So ये 2+2 क्यों बोला जाता है? क्योंकि two ministers या secretaries of USA and two ministers or secretary of our India, and they are generally the Secretary of State who basically takes care of the defense and जो सिक्योरिटी एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ यूएसए है उनका देखभाल करते हैं, एंड द सेक्रेटरी ऑफ डिफेंस. Okay, sorry, Secretary of State is like your External Affairs Minister, and they had meeting our External Affairs Minister and our Defense Minister. Okay, I hope you're aware that in USA they have the presidential system. जो presidential system है उसमें president खुद उनके secretaries जो है उनको they select the secretaries themselves. Unlike us where we have the parliamentary system, we have our parliament and parliament से ही हम ministers को चुनते हैं. Okay, under the Article 75 of the Constitution. Anyway, वो मिले थे October 27th को, and this was very important because COVID का pandemic है, right? All throughout the world there are virtual meetings. Okay, online ही चल रहा है जो भी international bilateral deals हो रहे. But USA had taken the effort of coming to India. Okay, they had flown all the way to India and had signed this. So it shows how significant our India-US defense ties are. It shows the significance of our defense ties. Okay, और कोई भी देश के लिए USA didn't do this, and just before their elections. Okay, but of course now we are going to have Joe Biden as the president who will inaugurate in Jan 2021, and ये जो secretary से ये सारे बदल जाएंगे. अभी Mike your Pompeo, this guy won't be the Secretary of State, okay, in the next administration, but anyway it was signed. And ये 2+2 क्या होता है? As I told you, two ministers at the summit level, at the apex level, they meet, right? ये सबसे पहले 2018 में हुआ था, फिर Washington में 2019 में हुआ था, and now as I told you, from their end, Mike Pompeo and their Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, they had met in Rajnath Singh ji and Jaishankar ji, right? So इस 2+2 summit का दौरान there were 5 agreements which were signed. Okay, these are not your defense agreements. 5 agreements are signed, and unme one is the most prominent defense agreement, which is BECA. This is your defense agreement. Okay, ये जो BECA है जिसके बारे में अभी हम बात करने वाले, it is your basic exchange and cooperation agreement. Okay, this was between the Ministry of Defense and the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency of the Department of Defense of USA. ठीक है? So this was one defense agreement which was signed, and इसके अलावा और भी किए थे, like there was an MOU on technical cooperation and Earth observation. Okay, similarly there was an agreement on the Global Center for Nuclear Energy Partnership. Okay, nuclear energy के लिए there was some agreement. Then electronic exchange of customs data. Similarly, there was a letter of intent between the Ayurvedic sciences and US. Maybe there is an Office of Cancer, Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Okay, in USA, in their Department of Health and Human Services. So उसमें there was a cooperation in Ayurveda and cancer research. ये सारे हुए थे. But what is of importance for us here is the BECA. ठीक है, because it is a defense agreement, and इस क्लास में हम सारे defense agreements, सबसे पहले GSMOIA हुआ था, फिर लेमोवा, ओके, फिर योर कॉमकासा, फिर योर बेका, ये चारों को हम अच्छे से इस वीडियो में कवर करेंगे. फाइन. सो सबसे पहले बेका, लेट्स बिगिन बेका डिस्कशन. सो बेका इज योर बेसिक एक्सचेंज एंड कोऑपरेशन एग्रीमेंट. नाम में कहीं कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, राइट? बेसिक एक्सचेंज कोऑपरेशन एग्रीमेंट किसी का भी हो सकता है. ये किसके लिए स्पेशली? इट वाज नॉट देयर. Okay, good afternoon everyone. Okay, so you should have some idea that it was for geospatial data. Okay, it was for geospatial data. So detailed maps, nautical and aeronautical charts, as well as imagery. ये सारे geospatial data जो है, it was shared. Like India, we have our own remote sensing satellites under ISRO, जो remote sensing satellites बेचता है. एंड उसके हिसाब से वी हैव अ जियोस्पेशियल डेटा. मतलब इंडिया के बॉर्डर्स में, इंडिया पाकिस्तान के बॉर्डर्स में, इंडिया चाइना के बॉर्डर्स में, या हमारा हाउ आर आवर मैप्स, ओके, डिटेल अगर आप देखोगे, हाउ आर द विलेजेस देयर इन दैट एरिया, ओके, व्हाट आर द बॉर्डर लेवल मूवमेंट, वो सब उनके मैप्स दे हैव बीन शेयर्ड. फाइन. सो इट क्रिएट्स अ फ्रेमवर्क फॉर शेयरिंग द क्लासिफाइड डेटा. सो इससे क्या होगा हमें? इससे we'll be getting to know how the USA is using its geospatial data, right? So we ourselves, because we have our long range missiles or drones, like we have our Agni 5 missile. Okay, Agni 5 missile जो है उसका range is more than 5,000 kilometers. बहुत लंबा range का हमारा missile है. It can target all parts of Pakistan and China. So Agni 5, या हमारा drone से, like we have a Rustam drone. Okay, Rustam drone can go several kilometers inside the Pakistan border, and it can do this reconnaissance of that area. So how they are using, like USA, they had famously used a Predator drone. Okay, जिससे वो Osama bin Laden को they had captured, right? I'll tell you about Predator drone. So how they had used the geospatial data for their missiles or drones, now India also can get access to that. If somebody has seen the movie Uri movie जो आया था a few years back, it was about the Uri attack which India has carried on the, Uri attack Pakistan has done, and the surgical strikes which we had carried on Pakistan in the POK area. In that they show जो drone है वो कैसे जाके reconnaissance करता है ना, or using the geospatial data. It's all because of geospatial data. So this agreement was signed, right? आपको एक ही word याद होना है, it is geospatial data, right? And it has also signed BECA, and India will be able to access highly accurate navigational satellite networks. So उनके navigation satellites, like high-end satellite images, telephone intercepts, and data exchange on Chinese troops, ये सब अभी हम मिल सकता है. Like we have seen recently, there was the Chinese incursions on the border where Galwan Valley में there were clashes in Ladakh. So that becomes important, right? So unless you know the geospatial data, जब तक हमें geospatial data के बारे में पता नहीं है, okay, about वहाँ पे border area में क्या movement, troop movement हो रहा है, we cannot launch a forward attack, or we can't even have a defense attack. So for that we need the geospatial data, and US, since it's the boss in the terms of defense developments in the world, US, Israel, Russia and all. So we have cracked this deal जिससे हमें how do you use geospatial data मिल सकता है. Okay. So it would enable India to use USA का geospatial maps and use automated hardware systems and weapons like cruise and ballistic missiles to pinpoint military accuracy, as I told you. And it is very important for using our unmanned aerial vehicles. Okay, unmanned aerial vehicles like USA का Predator B. Like India, we have our own Rustam, as I told, Rustam male drone. Okay, similarly, we have our Lakshya drone. Drone, I hope you know, आसमान में उड़ते हैं, and they don't have any person who's flying that. Okay, it's unmanned aerial vehicles. Again, like Predator and such advanced UAV were used by USA for capturing Osama bin Laden. If somebody knows how Osama bin Laden was captured, in the area of Abbottabad, their drone, okay, USA ka drone, it was there several kilometers above the sky. Nobody could see it, but it could see with the accuracy of 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters ground पे it could see, इतना accurate था वो. So it had seen Abbottabad में एक घर है, उस घर में कोई आने जाने नहीं हो रहा है, okay, from many days, but there are many people inside, and every day evening there was one person walking, okay, in the veranda, उसका हाइट मैच करके they had found out that उसका shadow के height मैच करके they had found out that Osama bin Laden. Okay, and then USA had launched their offensive attack to capture Osama bin Laden, who was killed in those attacks. But they had used this Predator drones. Okay, जिससे पता था. So USA also, India also can use that. Okay, use the technology. This is there in the movie. If somebody has seen Zero Dark 30, they show this, how Predator drone is used. Yeah, I have this tendency of watching war movies, so I'm quoting these references. Okay. So India initially we had, there was one criticism before the BECA was signed, that ये जो geospatial mapping reservation जो हम geospatial mapping share कर रही है USA से, उससे हमारा national security पे खतरा हो सकता है, right? Because USA can see our maps, okay, they can see our own troop movements, they can see our nuclear installations, वो सब देख सकते हैं. ऐसे there were reservations, but they were resolved using reciprocal consultation discussion. So there was some reciprocal consultation and discussion जिससे देखे थे कि only these areas USA can see, okay, sensitive areas USA cannot see, classified information रखे थे. And Russia also had many reservations against this deal. Okay, क्योंकि traditionally हमारा military, army and जो भी whatever we got imports, the strategic imports are from Russia over decades, okay, post independence. But now we are getting close to US, right, in defense. So there were Russian reservations against this BECA, but still we have signed this. Okay, so this is one which was signed in the 2+2, and before that we had the GSMOIA. This was signed in 2002. Then we have the LEMOA in 2016 and SYSMOIA in 2018. Now let us see them briefly. Okay, as I've told you, they're the foundational agreements. This is geospatial data BECA. Then the GSMOIA, it was basic military information कि कितने arms है, कितने missiles है इंडिया के पास, कितने soldiers है, कितने artillery है, ये basic information. USA का भी, we had got the USA information also. Then 2016 LEMOA. LEMOA is nothing but logistics support. I'll tell you what is LEMOA also. So basically अगर US का ship है, okay, if it is in the Diego Garcia Islands of Indian Ocean and it is going to near Southeast Asia, Malaysia वो जा रहा है ship. So बीच में रुकना पड़ता है. Okay, it has to stop. It has to make a stop, right? Those ships or submarines जो है, so they can stop temporarily at Chennai or Vizag ports. So there the logistics support can be given, okay, to the USA naval systems or even their aircraft systems. And in 2018 we have the COMCASA. COMCASA में we permitted the encryption standards of communication systems. I'll tell you this also. Okay, so सबसे पहले 2002 GSMOIA, as I told, basic information about India का artillery कितना है, how many troops are there, how many soldiers are there, how much navy is there, जो आपको normally भी online मिलता है at this point, but in 2002 there was no internet, okay, there was no information proliferation, right? So in 2002 they had signed that agreement, nothing great. And in 2019, one important thing, in 2019 there was a 2+2 dialogue in Washington, as I told you. So वहाँ पे there was an addition called as ISA, Industrial Security Annex. Okay, ये क्या है? It'll share information regarding the defense industries of classified military information. ठीक है, तब तक India USA they could share only information like your artillery, aircraft, submarine, ships and all which I told. But defense industries कहाँ है देश में, especially the classified military information, वो nobody knew. Okay, they're classified. So by the ISA, Industrial Security Annex, this has nothing to do with your normal industries, but it is defense industries. Defense industries के बारे में it was shared, ISA. So this you can add here. GSMOIA and ISA in 2019. ये ISA आपको normal sources में नहीं मिलते. Okay, this is इसलिए बहुत deeply we are going in this class, right? Similarly, we have the LEMOA. LEMOA, as I told you, it was signed in 2016. So LEMOA क्या है? It will enable both the countries to have access to each other's ports, या each other's places for military refueling and replenishment facilities. Okay, नॉर्मली भी इंडिया यूएसए बहुत सारे डिफेंस exercise करते हैं. Okay, like we have the Pacific exercise, or we have between Japan, India and USA, we have the Malabar exercise. So ऐसे Malabar, I mean ऐसे exercises तो करते हैं USA and India, but during those exercises or during those joint activities, yeah, USA, as I told you, if we have India here, okay, this is India, and USA in the Indian Ocean, they have some areas of strategic control. Like in Indian Ocean itself, they have the Diego Garcia port. UK and USA, they have this. It's near your Mauritius. Mauritius जो island है, वहाँ पे Diego Garcia Islands है. इस पे थोड़ा problem भी है. Like Mauritius is saying Diego Garcia comes under it, but USA and UK, they historically they claim that it's their port. Right? There are some issues, and UN may also they have gone, and UN, I mean the Permanent Court of Arbitration had also told that it should be with Mauritius, but technically it's under the strategic control of US. तो यहाँ से कोई ship जा रहा है Southeast Asia. Okay, they have there. अगर ये इंडोनेशिया है, okay, इतना नजदीक नहीं है, but just imagine ये इंडोनेशिया है because यहाँ space नहीं है everyone. Okay, यहाँ पे उनका कालिम्पोंग islands है. So if it's going in the Southeast Asia, okay, the ship is going, it can't directly go from here to here. They have the docking. So Chennai may they dock, then they proceed, okay, to the Sumatra side, and then they go. Okay, here we have the Malacca Strait. So this docking is done here. So docking में कुछ नहीं होता है. They just stop for a while. They replenish their facilities. They replenish their food sources, their water. Okay, a basic exchange of logistic goods. Yeah, if there are repairs, any repairs which has to be done to the ship. Okay, any refueling has to be done, or if any aircraft is flowing from your Southeast Asia to USA, it has to stop, right? It has to stop in between. So it can stop temporarily near India as part of their exercises or as part of their routine freedom of navigation type. Okay, but only for the military. Remember, this is not for commercial. Only military stops हो सकते हैं यहाँ पे. Okay, so there they can replenish, and ये हम free में नहीं दे रहे. Okay, it will be I mean they can take, but it will be reimbursed, during which payments are made at each time. Okay, money would be reimbursed. जो भी पानी या जो भी repair या जो भी food sources they're taking from India, it will be reimbursed by USA. So it's a basic logistics agreement. Nobody was concerned about it. Of course, that time also Hindu and other newspapers, they were critical that why are we getting close to USA, but it was downplayed, saying that it is just a logistics sort of agreement. Then the next in 2018 came the COMCASA. COMCASA क्या है? It is your Communications and Knowledge Security Memorandum of Agreement. Okay, basically USA has something called as SISMOA, Collective Instrument of Security, but as a variant we have this COMCASA in India. This is valid only for 10 years until 2028 it's valid, and it will give the legal structure for transition from USA to India of sensitive communication security devices. Okay, like India, we are importing the USA ke hardware, their military hardware, like for example their UAVs, Predator drones, yeah, you know, the what do you say, basic cruise missiles, yeah, your aircrafts we are trying to get. Okay, for example, we have the Mirage 2000 we are getting from USA. So for those in those aircrafts or in those military equipment, they have the communication systems, and many times those communication systems they are encrypted, okay, to protect the sensitive data. So to use those military hardware which we are getting from USA, we need the communication security devices, right? We need the encryption, क्योंकि वो encrypted होते हैं, we have seen here, right? Encryption standards, क्योंकि encryption standards होते हैं इसमें COMCASA, I mean in the military hardware which we're getting from USA, we need that transparency of communication information systems. So this was one step above. So this is to set the ground of importing the military hardware. Okay, and ultimately in the BECA we are having the geospatial data. So हमें एक match the following भी पूछा जा सकता है कि they can give GSMOIA, LEMOA, COMCASA and BECA, and they can give on right hand side क्या क्या है. So basic ones you should know: BECA geospatial, then your GSMOIA basic military information, then your LEMOA basic logistics exchange memorandum, logistical support दे सकते हैं, then your COMCASA is for communication systems. Fine. So that is all there is about to the defense agreements, the 4 defense agreements which we had. And GSMOIA में एक ISA है, उसको भूलना मत, इंडस्ट्रियल सिक्योरिटी एनेक्स. ठीक है, और कुछ नहीं है, और कुछ भी क्वेश्चन पूछ नहीं सकते प्रीलिम्स में. इफ देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन इतने से यू कैन आंसर एनी क्वेश्चन. फॉर एग्जांपल, ट्राई टू आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स रिगार्डिंग BECA. It allows militaries of USA and India to replenish from each other's bases and access the supplies. Okay. It will enable sharing of advanced satellite and topographic data like maps, nautical and aeronautical charts. Which of the following are correct? BECA के बारे में है. So basic question है, which of the following is correct? Try to answer these questions, people who are listening to this class. Okay, as we had discussed, this is all about geospatial maps. Maps, nautical, aeronautical charts के ये. But इसमें हम we are not using to replenish the bases. ये किसमें था? It was under LEMOA. So ये गलत है, right? ये LEMOA के बारे में बोल रहे हैं. So answer should be B, 2 only. Okay. Similarly, as I was saying, LEMOA was signed in 2016 was to replenish from each other's bases and access supplies. And BECA is for your geospatial cooperation, and it's a communication agreement between your National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the Ministry of Defense. ये हम पढ़े थे, right? ये और एक easy question, try to solve this. Consider about the strategic agreements. तो हमें एक chronology भी पता होना चाहिए, क्या पहले आया था, कौन से बाद में आए थे. So try to solve this. India has signed COMCASA which facilitates advanced defense systems. Previously signed agreements include BECA and LEMOA. So try to solve this question. What is the answer for this? Okay, so ये chronology type question है. हमने देखा था सबसे पहले GSMOIA आया था, ये military information का. Then we had the LEMOA. Then of course we had the COMCASA. And finally in 2020 we have the BECA. So previously signed include BECA and LEMOA गलत है, right? क्योंकि BECA latest है. COMCASA is for advanced defense system. It is true. Advanced defense systems, उनके communication standards के लिए we need it. So answer is A1 only. ठीक है, ऐसे basic questions पूछा जा सकता है. Okay, so that's it. All about all the US defense agreements, India-US defense agreements in one go in this class. And to help you in your IAS preparation, Gradeup has launched the Gradeup Super subscription, as most of you are aware. And इसमें the flagship courses are IAS 2021. It's a comprehensive course for the GS Prelims Comes Mains batch, and it's available in both English and Hindi. मतलब हिंदी medium बच्चों के लिए there's a separate batch, and for English strictly English, there is another English medium batch. And to know more about it, you can talk to our counselors on this number. And what do you get in this course? You'll be getting 350 plus live GS classes. So the most extensive or exhaustive preparation for your IAS and UPSC examinations इसमें हमें मिलेगी. Then you'll be getting the supplementary notes with the classes, 325 plus PDFs or 5000 practice questions मिलेंगे आपको. And importantly, you'll be getting the additional classes for Yojana, Yearbook Kurukshetra and CSAT. This no institute gives you. Okay, they don't give you classes on Kurukshetra and Yojana. Okay, but we are giving as part of this Gradeup Super subscription. And you'll be getting 30 mock tests, for which Gradeup is very famous for. Our mock tests, which is curated by the faculty and prepared by an entire team. Then we have also for mains, we have the mock tests. 12 GS tests for mains, 2 essay tests and 7 previous year's papers. In sub pe they'll be. So pura, you'll be taught, you'll be getting notes, you'll be having practice questions, and you'll be getting mock tests for prelims and mains. Okay, entirely part of our flagship course. And apart from the 2021 GS course, which I told you, we also have a course for UPSC EPFO, which is going to be conducted in May 2021, and which has 400 plus enforcement officer posts, which is actually a very good post. Okay, uske liye also we have a dedicated batch only for EPFO preparation. Okay, since it's conducted by UPSC, it becomes very important. And we have a complete NCERT module. This is for absolute beginners who have no previous background in UPSC or general studies. Basic building blocks से आपको पढ़ाया जाएगा. The NCERT, सारे NCERTs from 6 to 12 जो relevant है हमें exams के लिए वो सारे पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है? And ये सब आप अलग-अलग, you don't have to enroll. It's part of our Gradeup Super. By Gradeup Super, just by taking subscription of one, you'll be getting the access to all these courses. And it's taught by expert faculties, okay, who have years of experience and have appeared in UPSC mains and interview. Okay, they are the expert faculties. And the charges which you can see on screen, we have different plans for 6 months or 12 months or 24 months according to your convenience. And you can speak to our counselors regarding the costs and regarding the subscription. Okay. And apart from the Gradeup Super, as you know, on the Gradeup app, we have the daily free classes. Okay, daily at 12 o'clock, we have our daily editorial analysis. Then at 5 p.m. we have Lakshya, which is an EPFO classes. It's for free, fully free. Then we have special 5 lectures. It's a short series. जिससे आपको A to Z of every topic it will be covered once a week at 7 p.m. तो आप एक topic आप discuss करोगे इसमें, it will be discussed and you don't have to see any other source for that. All the angles would be given for that. That's our special 5 lectures. Similarly, we have a GS for IAS at 8 p.m. It would be something like this class where we'll take up the most important topics which are expected for the 2021 exam, and we'll be discussing that. And the daily current affairs at 9 p.m. Okay, so that in social media ke zamane mein, so that you're not lost in the whole social media, we have this Gradeup app, and isme hi you can talk to people. Okay, you can interact with people. It's like a social media which we have made on the Gradeup app, and it's only focused on academic exams, because Facebook, Twitter, Insta पे आपको बहुत time waste होगा. Okay, किसी को use नहीं है उससे. So on the Gradeup app, you'll be getting access to all of this. Okay. So thank you so much for this class, and hopefully we'll see you on the Gradeup app, and hopefully we'll see you on the Gradeup Super classes. So prep smart, score better, and go Gradeup. Thank you and all the very best.